Hi guys and welcome to my channel. So today I wanted to discuss something that I don't really see a lot of other channels teach or discuss specifically in the way that I'm going to do it. And that is re-engaging with life after narcissistic abuse, and specifically replacing the old version of you that was living in the false reality that they created. Now, the narcissist doesn't want you to realize this because they feel like they still have some kind of grip or control over you, and they get a kick out of it. And that's why eventually they hoover you. It's just to test the waters to see if you're still attached to them in any way, shape or form. So you'll still feel like you're with them even when they've left or when you've left, because you're still engaging with that same reality. And it doesn't stop the moment you leave. You have to relearn and re-engage with a new version of yourself in order to be really free. And that's why you might hear some survivors say that they keep meeting narcissists over and over, because on a subconscious level, you're attracting them due to remaining and living in this false reality. So you're living in the same headspace that they are. When you've experienced narcissistic abuse, you'll understand how over time you can be lulled into this false reality that the narcissist lives in. So they literally introduce you into their twisted world, and they slowly convince you that that is also your reality. And they thrive when they keep others entangled in their false reality. And it's a world just built on control, shame and distortion. I'm sure you've heard the saying, misery loves company. So when that relationship ends, you don't just immediately step out of that reality and the ways that they have you thinking. The residues still remain with you. They might be gone, but you stay engaging with that reality. And that's how you remain stagnant and stuck, even after the abuse. That's how you stay depressed and unhappy, because as humans, we need to be engaging in something to feel like we're actually living. Now, they know this, and they keep you in that negative cycle of engagement just to meet their own needs. So as I was saying, life is about being engaged in a process: family, work, nature, art, hobbies, and such. And for me, that's what life is really about. You need to step into the arena of disengaging with the old version of yourself that the narcissist toyed with, and start engaging with a new, empowered version of yourself that hasn't been tainted by them. So in order to do that, you have to ask yourself questions. And this is where I believe CBT is so helpful, and that's cognitive behavioral therapy, because it makes you ask and answer the hard questions, revealing questions that will bring you into a new reality and awareness of yourself. Now, cognitive behavioral therapy, it gives us tools to break the illusion of examining the thoughts, beliefs, and stories we've unconsciously internalized. So these are the following questions that you need to ask yourself. What is a belief I'm holding right now, and where did it come from? What evidence do I have that this belief is 100% true? What would I tell a friend if they were thinking this about themselves? What emotional response does this belief trigger in me, and what behavior does it lead to? What is a more realistic, balanced truth I can replace with this, one that aligns with who I really am? So I suggest you take a pen and pencil, or maybe your phone, and really answer those questions honestly. And so if I take the second question as an example, which is question 2, what evidence do I have that this belief is 100% true? The evidence for that is, it could be something like, I cried during arguments, or I get anxious in conflict. And the evidence against it would be, my reactions are normal for somebody who's under stress, and I often feel hurt because I care deeply, and other people have told me I'm empathetic and not irrational. And for the CB part of it, the narcissist exaggerated normal emotional reactions and labeled them as your weakness to maintain control. Your sensitivity is actually a strength, not a flaw. And for question 3, what would I tell a friend if they were thinking this about themselves? You'd say, you're not too sensitive. You were in a situation that trained you to mistrust your feelings. Of course, your nervous system is overwhelmed. That's not weakness, that's trauma. And you deserve to feel and process safely. And the CBT insight would be, when we extend compassion outward, we create distance from the inner critic that the narcissist installed in our minds. This rewires your internal dialogue over time. And for question 4, what emotional response does this belief trigger in me? And what behavior does it lead to? So the emotion is shame, self-doubt, anxiety. The behavior is suppressing feelings, walking on eggshells, and not expressing needs. And the CBT insight would be when you recognize the emotional chain reaction a belief causes, you gain the power to interrupt it. And this is key for trauma recovery. So what you're doing is you're noticing the pattern, and that's step 1 to breaking it. So for question 5, what is a more realistic, balanced truth I can replace with this? So the new belief would be, my emotions are valid signals. I may feel deeply, but that doesn't make me wrong. It makes me human. It's okay to feel, speak, and exist without apology. And the CBT insight would be, this is cognitive restructuring, gently replacing the distorted core belief with one that reflects your truth. Doing this consistently builds a new mental and emotional reality that belongs to you, not the narcissist. So CBT helps you rewire the part of your brain that was trained to doubt yourself. And this is so key because the narcissist taught you to question yourself, and CBT teaches you to question that. So by using simple but intentional questions like these, you can create space between your thoughts and your truth, build awareness of where beliefs originated, and replace inherited scripts with empowered self-perception. And this process does take time, but with every loop you break, you reclaim more of your mind, your peace, and your identity. So I hope this helps if you're struggling with re-engaging with life after narcissistic abuse. And talk to you on the next one.